see brands come out with viral products, brands that are so successful that they just become legendary. But a lot of those same brands have produced products that just flop, that fall flat. Nobody likes it. They've got bad reviews. They get taken off of the shelves, online, everything. We should talk about those today because I think there's some lessons to be learned about hot beauty products and hot beauty brands that released flop products. If you like this style of video, I'm going to continue to do Spinning the Beauty Block episodes where we look back at products and sometimes brands that we used to love. Some of them we didn't used to love, but no matter what, it is just fun to look back and see what was happening with beauty. Follow me here on my page and follow me at Nubelease on all social media, and let's get started. Let's talk about AF94. Now, if you are not a drugstore beauty lover, maybe you haven't heard of this brand. This is the brand that Halsey, the musical artist, started as a more budget drugstore brand, really going directly to Walmart and Walmart.com. Now, Halsey does have a brand that is really well received that people love called About Face, and that is more of the sort of mid-range brand that has like products that are artistry focused, very vivid, vibrant colors. It's really fun. It's definitely for those who love to like play with color. And AF94 is similar to that, but just at the drugstore price point. They came out with a few years ago like dewy lip and cheek colors, these like hybrid stains, lip products, all of that. And they dropped or launched AF94 in June of 2022. This is supposed to be like a playful Gen Z style brand, and it's pretty much been pulled from Walmart since then. So it lasted a good 3 years, and I wonder really what it was that took the brand away from being, popular, especially amongst a younger crowd or amongst like, Walmart and drugstore lovers. I love drugstore makeup. I love drugstore beauty products, always have. As a matter of fact, some of my like earliest memory of beauty products was definitely like CoverGirl and Maybelline. I think we're just at a time right now where younger people are so keyed into social media, and the aesthetic right now is really not pops of color. I almost feel like if this brand had launched maybe right now, we're actually kind of going back a little bit further into more color and more eyeshadow and things like that. It's almost like this is just like this was the wrong time to launch. Back in 2022, it was very much still the aesthetic of like a little bit of stain on the lip, a little bit of light cheek, skin tints. We were heavy into skin tints. And like, I think we're swinging back, or at least at the beginning stages of swinging back into true makeup, like beat face makeup. I have love for both of them, but I could see why at this time, this brand sort of had some hype around it. I remember when it launched and then sort of died down, and I think it's pretty much gone. This is a product and not necessarily a brand, but we need to talk about Fenty Beauty because, again, I told y'all I hoard all sorts of things, but digital things as well. So one of the images and launches that I hoarded from a long time ago was the Fenty Beauty Cosmic Gloss Lip Glitters. They were $19 and came out fall 2017. I remember this launch and being like, oh, these glittery lip things, like, are we going to be doing glitter? Like, we were doing glitter eyes, but I'm not sure about the lips. They seem to have fall flat, like they fell flat. Like, I don't remember the beauties. Of course, at the time, there were still beauties that were sent the products, that were like showing them the beautiful like glisten and gleam they gave your lips, but it wasn't something that was on anybody's favorites list for 2017 or 2018. It's funny that we talked about AF94 and me feeling like the colorful, vibrant makeup is going to come back. It's just wrong place, wrong time. Fenty Beauty showed us that this was wrong place, wrong time, because now they have the Gloss Bomb oils. They're luminizing lip oils and gloss. It's like a kind of a hybrid. They're $26 and they launched those March or April. So it's like spring 2025. So we're talking about 8 years later, and they bring something back that's essentially the same thing, and they have done really well. I actually have one of them. Actually, it's right here. This is the version of it in, let me see, what shade is this? In Frosted Buns. And it's got like this really beautiful, like glitter, shimmer. It looks beautiful on the lips. I still don't like this product though. Although the oil consistency is really nice, it's more of like a slightly thicker lip gloss. It leaves behind shimmer particles, and I don't like that. I am the type of person that like I may not even stick with the same lip product throughout the day. Like I may start off with one, end up with something else. I could be out and about. Not really, I don't really leave my house. But you could be doing things that make you want to have a different type of product on. If I still have like shimmer glitter particles on my mouth, like it's gonna bother me. I don't really like it. I feel like it's okay at best. My point being though, they released a product that just was not relevant for the time. I mean, there were some beautiful videos of it. I don't remember anyone loving this. It wasn't on a best of list. Like I said, it wasn't really a must have. But all those years later, they've essentially released the same thing in a slightly different version, and it's done a lot better. I think we'll see that from a lot of brands, coming back to the idea of like, well, we tried this some years ago, didn't really work. Let's see what happens in a few years. Another brand that may have just been a little bit too early for the time was Drunk Elephant and their hair care line. Drunk Elephant did a hair and body collection. This was a collaboration collection with Chris McMillan, aka Jennifer Aniston's hairstylist, that now has their own brand. And back in 2020, so this was bad timing, of course, all over the world. Back in spring 2020, they came out with this collaboration that had shampoo, conditioner, scalp scrub, tangle spray, body lotion, body wash, and a deodorant cream. This is really interesting because this was very early in what now we're seeing in 2026. A lot of these brands that were doing one part of beauty and now they're in another. For example, Amika just came out with some body care collection items, and they're known for being a hair care brand, which I love. I love their hair care products. Then there are brands who are, say, like makeup products, makeup brands, and skincare. And now they're moving into fragrance, releasing a signature fragrance. I think beauty brands see the writing on the wall. Beauty lovers are multifaceted. We want hair and skincare and makeup and fragrance. Typically, a beauty lover has more than one interest in beauty, so they might as well just keep their customers where they are. If Drunk Elephant can give you your skincare, why can't they give you your hair care? This collection was very interesting. I remember specifically YouTubers talking about this ahead of its launch, but then the launch, of course, fell flat because the world was, what's the word for it? I think that if they came out with this or relaunched this now, it would do much better. Like had it not launched it originally. I think these products are still available. Chris McMillan, like I said, has their own line that came out August 2025, and it has been very well received. People are saying that those products are amazing. So if you're looking for something like that, you can check them out. But what do you think? Do beauty brands have the space to enter into like hair care and fragrance if they were just makeup and skincare? Let me know. This one is a collection that I dragged through the mud in one of my earliest Spin the Beauty Block episodes. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Fragrance Collection of Emotions. Man, yeah, I got a mini set or a discovery set once this came out because I was so excited about the idea of Charlotte Tilbury having fragrances. Now, when this came out a few years ago, it wasn't really the first time Charlotte Tilbury had a fragrance. There was a signature fragrance that the brand has come out that had come out from the brand years prior, but it wasn't something that people talked about very much. This collection was supposed to be different emotions, and each scent was so custom to that emotion. So there was one that was about the sun, Sunphoria, I think it was called. There was one that was really about the heart. There was different colors, and most of the scents smelled like old lady scents to me. Variations of old lady to outside forest to just generic scents that you can find from any other brand. So the range was to me bad to okay. Since then, I think that the collection really spoke for itself in terms of the success. Most beauties were excited about it at the beginning, and then it sort of fell flat from there. From what I can tell now, even as recently as a week or two ago, the Charlotte Tilbury brand has kept a few of them around, but I don't think all of them are available anymore. And that makes sense because some of them were just too, I won't go too deeply into my thoughts around Gwen Stefani right now, but Give Beauty was a brand that was pretty exciting when it came out. There was definitely this vibe of like cool girl, the red, the bold liners, like it was gonna give makeup collection. This fell flat, I think, for a number of reasons. One, they didn't ever release anything that was like unique or specific to be like drawn to the brand. Like, oh, this is their product. They're known for this product. Especially at the time that it launched, we were still post COVID. I mean, we're still in a time where people are paying attention to the types of things that they're buying. And if it's not something special, if there's not something like unique about it, people are likely to skip it. At the time, I feel like if there was some sort of like, staple product, a bestseller, something that people loved, like up and down, it may have had a chance. But basically, you were getting black eyeliners, red lips, neutral shadows. There wasn't anything special about this brand. And so it sort of fell flat. It went on sale at Sephora. It was mostly available at Sephora, and on their website, but there's not much going on. They've put most of the things on deep discount to the point where there's only a few products left. I think the brand is pretty much done. And, good riddance. I'd really love to know what happened to Marc Jacobs Beauty. It's 2026 and there is buzz around Marc Jacobs Beauty coming back finally. Now, again, because I'm a hoarder of information and digital, info, I know that even as of August of 2023, there was talk about Marc Jacobs Beauty coming back. And it's taken a while, but supposedly it's finally coming 3 years later. I'd love to know what happened to Marc Jacobs Beauty and why the beauty brand shut down. But this is an example of a brand that really was loved and people were really upset when they left the space. I know I was. Fun sidetrack story. I was a part of this Marc Jacobs Beauty squad years and years ago. I still have the shirt and the pictures of the makeup they sent me as being a part of the little group. This is very early on in the, having PR and being on social media with it. So I was really excited about it, but it wasn't really a time where I was posting a lot on social media. And so I would be really excited to get Marc Jacobs Beauty back. We know that Marc Jacobs was really at the forefront of that luminizer liquid glow type product. Their bronzer was a holy grail bronzer for so many beauties. And their eyeliners were one of the most popular products, a gel eyeliner product with so many different colors ever. I think that product, the 3 products that I just named, are the ones that people were devastated to lose when the brand went away. I'm so excited for them to come back. If Marc Jacobs Beauty comes back, it's already been teased. There's been, hints of Marc Jacobs Beauty products being used at Fashion Week this year, and I'm here for it. I'm excited. The only thing that I will say is if y'all bring back that bronzer and don't have a correct shade range, I will read you for filth, and so will everyone else, because there was only ever one shade. If I remember correctly, it was one shade. I wanted to give him credit and say maybe 2, but no, there was only one shade. So there's that. We know Huda Beauty to be a powerhouse when it comes to makeup. They are for the babes that love the complexion, the depth of bronzer, foundation, all of the things. They have so many products that are favorites, holy grails, must-haves for all of the beauties. I really love that Huda Beauty has decided to branch out into other areas. There were brands like Wishful Skin that had their skincare products. They had really wonderful skincare products, and that brand is slowly dying down. No new launches. I think that they've had a lot of things on discount. I don't know what happened with that. Of course, we know Kayali, the fragrance brand that is owned by Huda Kattan's sister, is epic. One of the most popular fragrance brands right now. I love the brand as well. I loved Wishful Skin as well and still have a few Wishful Skin products. Then there was Glowish. This brand launched in 2021, and the whole point was to have hydrated, glowing products, and it made sense for the time. They had a lot of products that were 90% natural ingredients. So it says, I wrote in my notes here that it was supposed to be skin-loving ingredients, high performance but natural finish with that glow from within vibe. Everything that they had was more of lighter coverage, creams. So they had cream bronzers and a cream to sort of light powder, blushes, and all sorts of products like that. I still think that this is like a example of wrong time. This was 2021, again, still a post-COVID time, and I think people were being really specific about the things that they purchased or just not purchasing beauty products at all. If this brand with different packaging came out like 2024, 2025, it would be really successful because the beauties are really into this idea of like natural makeup, at least for the last few years. I think we're getting ready to swing into the other direction to more full coverage, high glam, but we're not quite there yet. I think if they had different packaging, like I just mentioned, that really appealed to maybe a little bit more of a younger audience, a Gen Z audience, this could have done really well. I see lots of glowish products like on sale. I think they've pretty much gotten rid of the line. You could maybe find a few different things. I do know that their cream bronzer was really like popular, but other than that, maybe they'll try again. I love that Huda Beauty and like all their brands are like innovative, trying to come out with something new and fun. So they'll be back, maybe in a different form, or maybe a new brand that kind of does the same thing. We'll see. We'll see what depends on, I guess, what the beauty trends are going to be. Even though Benefit Cosmetics is not really known for innovation, there was a time that they released a product that was like really fun and new, but it was really a flop. They released their Benefit Brow Contour Pro 4-in-1 Defining and Highlighting Brow Pencil. This was mid 2018, and if this shape looks familiar to you, it's because it's supposed to look like one of those pens that you can like select a different color from, and it was really fun in terms of the packaging. I actually bought this product way back then in 2018. It was $34 and it didn't work well. It was a little bit clunky. It was like as you try to select one of the shades, it's kind of like you had to press down kind of hard. The like pen itself, I think, was a bit too waxy. It just did not work. It was a great idea, bad execution. It was relevant at the time in terms of like the sort of innovative idea of something playful, something fun, a nod to a time past. But like this didn't work then, and I'm glad they never even tried anymore because I think the beauties right now, we're not for the gimmicks and the cutesy. Like the time is over for all of that. Will there ever be a time where we need 100 shades of a foundation? I talked about the Pure Cosmetics Love Your Selfie Longwear Foundation and Concealer. It was like a 2-in-1 in one of my earlier episodes of Spinning the Beauty Block. And I critiqued the fact that Pure Cosmetics came out with something during a time that we were sort of like falsely, that beauty brands were falsely trying to bring us this sense of like togetherness and inclusivity that only lasted for a short amount of time. And maybe I need to do like a separate Spinning the Beauty Block episode about that because I think that we've lost a lot of that momentum in terms of inclusion and shade range. But at this time, when this came out years ago, I think that they were applauded for coming out with 100 shades with this idea that everyone will have a shade. They even made a separate Instagram account for each of the shades so that you could see what the before and after models looked like. And immediately my critique was, well, where will they all be available? When this product came out, you were never able to actually get 100 shades in store, meaning even if your shade was available or you suspected that based off the pictures, the shade you would want was available, created, you may not have been able to get to it in store because they only stocked, the 40 or 50 shades. I'm not sure how many shades, but only half of the collection was available at Ulta in store, meaning you had to blind buy your shade. Even if you saw the model in the pictures and you're like, okay, this looks like it could be my shade, you would just have to take a chance, meaning a lot of beauties would buy multiple shades from the Pure Cosmetics website or from Ulta.com thinking that they had a shade match. It just felt like a gimmick at the end of the day because we don't need 100 shades. We need the correct shades. We need undertones for everyone from fair skin all the way to the deepest skin. We need nuance. We don't need numbers. I think Pure Cosmetics hoped that this was going to be like game-changing, world-changing, beauty-changing. It wasn't. This one pains me to include because I love One Size Beauty and I loved this product. I can't believe that they just kind of got rid of it. This was the one size off, go off juiciest makeup remover wipes. They were $15. You could get like 21 of them in the package, and they came out mid 2020. Again, bad timing, but this product was loved so much by beauty lovers, me included. I loved this product because they were bigger makeup wipes, so you could get a lot more of like your face off in just one makeup wipe. It left your face not feeling dry, which I love. And I just feel like they did a great job of removing heavy makeup. It reminds me, I keep looking over because it reminds me of their Go Off like makeup dissolving product. This is their makeup dissolving mist. They came out with this product at the same time that they came out with the makeup wipes, and I immediately fell in love with both products. They ended up like discontinuing this product, and it just recently came back late or 2025, so last year. Still love it. I think that this is even an improved formula on a product that I considered a holy grail must have. I just want them to bring back the wipes, please. Like, insert the tears and the rain behind me, please. One Size Beauty, please bring back the makeup wipes. Do whatever y'all need to do to, make it work, but they are so wonderful. I don't know what happened, but we need them back. I will say this isn't really a flop. This is just a product that somehow didn't work. I would imagine that something in the formula or manufacturing is the reason why they left, because people loved these makeup wipes. People loved the makeup removing mist, and they were able to figure out how to bring that back. If I know One Size Beauty, I know that they will figure out a way to bring back these makeup wipes because they really were the best in the market. To me, in my humble opinion. It's really odd to me and weird to me because the products that I tried are good. I've seen beauties talk about getting Win Beauty at a deep discount from Ulta Beauty at this point and being like, why did this brand not work out? Like, I'm so confused. I actually like this product, and I feel the same way. It's like they didn't go about it in the right way, or maybe it was too centralized around Serena herself, and maybe that was a problem. And I guess that's a good point. A lot of the brands that are being founded, co-founded, or started by a celebrity person need to really stand on their own to make it work. For example, Fenty Beauty does amazing, and you do see Rihanna on the advertisements wearing the products, but the brand invested really heavily in artist talent, makeup artists, and that expertise to really draw you into the products, to do education, and to really make it a legitimate brand. I think that some of the other brands that are like founded by people we know, if you take it seriously and you don't make it about like supporting you as the person, more of like the products themselves that you just kind of you add yourself to, then it works more successfully. You get what I'm saying? Like with Win Beauty, I think the thing was that it was too centralized around being a Serena brand versus a beautiful, wonderful makeup brand that was founded by Serena. You get what I'm saying? It was Serena first, then the makeup. It's unfortunate because they had good products. Beauties did love was it a skin tint or was it technically a foundation? Let me see. The Featuring You hydrating skin tint, SPF 30, beauties love that. I really loved like the 2-in-1, like it was like blush and lips. I think I wrote that down here too. Which one was it? Why do I know? Oh, the multitasking liquid tint. It's supposed to be for lips and cheeks. I have like 2 colors of that. I loved it. It was called their MVP. It was $21. Win Beauty launched in 2024 and has now gone, completely into like clearance, and it's pretty much no more. It's unfortunate because I think that this brand would have done really well, had it been about the focus of the products and not necessarily looking like a collaboration with a celebrity. I've talked about this like before in one of the Spinning the Beauty Block episodes as well, but Becca, RIP to Becca, but Becca Cosmetics at the time came out with, this was 2020, mid 2020, they came out with a no foundation, no color pigment foundation. How do I say that? It was their zero, no pigment virtual foundation. It was $36. It was basically a primer. It was a gimmick. And I think that like beauty brands have to be real careful about gimmick if you are considered a serious brand. There are brands that are like funny, fun, tongue-in-cheek, like the Ismiyaka brand, or, that come out with like silly things. But Becca by and large was considered like a, nice beauty brand that had real products that could like really work every day. They had, dependable consistency. It wasn't like one of the drugstore brands that sort of is like here and there with like the quality of their products. It was a serious beauty brand. So they came out with a gimmick that really fell flat, like to the point where the beauties were talking about it online. And this was the wrong time to have the extra attention on your beauty brand if it wasn't something positive. It was too much of a gimmick. There is no such thing as a zero pigment like product. I will say, not sure if I said this in like my original version of like talking about this, there are some brands that I do legitimately think could release a product like this and it would do well. But it's a different time and it's a different, type of brand that could do it. I don't think that, say, Anastasia Beverly Hills or that like a Laura Mercier or something could do it. But I do think a brand like, say, Tower 28 could probably do it. I do think that like there are brands that can kind of get away with a little bit more because they are well loved by like a younger demographic and a demographic that like likes fun, different types of like products. Mostly because they're young and on social media. And like I said, if like a Summer Fridays or a brand like that released that and it went straight to the influencers on TikTok, people would love it because it would be so gimmicky. But I don't think the serious brands can really do something like this. This fell flat and, rip to Becca Cosmetics. That's it for this episode of Spinning the Beauty Block. Thank you for hanging out with me and hearing me yap about these products. I've still got so much more that I could talk about when it comes to old beauty products, successes, failures, all of that. Follow my page here, subscribe so I could come back to you next time with a Spinning the Beauty Block episode. Also follow at Nubelease on all social media platforms. That is Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest, Nubelease.com, and also join my email list. If you go to Nubelease.com, you can join my email list and I will send you, I do every month to every other month, the new beauty products that are being released so you can stay on top of all of these good products, gimmicky products, new products coming from beauty brands. I send you the list so that you can stay on top of it and you don't have to follow them all on social media like I do. Thank you for joining me and I will see you next time.